Disney's Aladdin. I thought the genie was supposed to be blue. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Entrepreneur. This is Katie.
Hi.
And it's time for another movie night review with Katie and Kevin. And tonight, today really, you can see it's daylight outside. We are seeing in IMAX 3D, one of the few IMAX 3D showings, Disney's Aladdin. Now, full disclosure, I did not want to see this movie. After Dumbo, and Beauty and the Beast, I'm pretty much done with these movies. And we just saw Aladdin on Broadway, which was a good show, by the way. So I'm getting a little Aladdin'd out. So I was kind of like, no, I don't really want to see it. And then she goes,
I want to see it.
and I'm like, okay, honey. So here we are. But we are going to be watching the movie, and as always, we haven't seen it at this point, but we will be back afterwards to show what we think about it. I'm expecting a 3-star movie.
I'd say 3.5.
You'd say 3.5. Okay, well, I knew you wanted to see this more than I did. I'm getting... It could be considerably worse, though, guys. I did see one clip of the Prince Ali musical number, was not very impressed. I did listen to the soundtrack, and with the exception of the new song that they sing, Speechless, I think it is, it's actually pretty good, but I've so far not been impressed with the musical number, was the way it sounds on the soundtrack. I told her, like, maybe I have to see it with the images, but then I saw at least 1 minute with the images, like, that's not a whole lot better, so it actually could be as low as 2, you never know. But I'm very, very skeptical about this, so...
Hopefully not.
Well, of course not. I mean, well, thankfully we have the AMC stubs. Hey, listen, this isn't costing us anything.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of tempered, like, when a movie's disappointing, it's like, whatever, I didn't spend any money on that. But now that I'm in my mid-30s, it's like, movies that are a waste of time are starting to annoy me a little bit more, I find. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll be back in a minute with our review.
They're over there! Get them! Stop! Please! You three, get back here! Stop that boy! She's on the roof!
Rich enough to impress a princess. What would I have to do?
There's a cave of wonders. Bring me the lamp.
Oh, great one who summons me. I'm kidding. Watch this.
Don't you dare close your eyes. Hold your breath, it gets better. I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. Let me share this whole new world with you.
Okay, so we just saw Aladdin, Guy Ritchie's Aladdin, and it sucked. Sorry, it sucks.
3.5 stars.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna obviously disagree with that. So, okay, first of all, what I didn't like about it, there's a lot of things I didn't like it. Yeah, the animated movie's better. I would much rather watch the animated movie than this one. And by the way, the animated movie is about 40 minutes shorter, I would estimate.
Okay.
Like, they added a lot more to this movie than needed to be added, and it shows. Did not like the guy who played Jafar at all. Thought he was pretty bad in that role. Didn't think he did good. Thought it was bizarre at the beginning how they, for being super much longer, they cut a lot of backstory out of the beginning, where they just jumped right into things without explaining. They really assumed that you had seen Aladdin before, which I think that's a problem when you've got a remake. You shouldn't assume that people saw the other version. I also thought this is like a little quibble, but I thought it was funny how they made like a huge deal over the fact that they wanted to make Jasmine more strong and independent, and as such, they changed her costume so you didn't see her belly button. They like made it a point like, we want to be more feminist and progressive, so she's not going to see her belly button. And then at the beginning, like that iconic scene where she learned how to do the pole jump without Aladdin's help, they completely changed that to where he had to help her out. It's like, that's a bizarre change to make for your progressive movie. I thought all the musical numbers really were not very good, with the exception of one. You probably know which one I'm talking
Friend like
talking
me.
about. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought most of the, like, Guy Ritchie did not seem like he was comfortable making a musical. Like, the Prince Ali, the Whole New World, especially, you know, One Jump Ahead. That is not how a musical moves. There was no energy. It was just really awkward. Now then, the Friend Like Me sequence, which was mostly animated, that was really fun to watch. Like, you know, there was a bunch of crazy stuff, and I'm assuming his animators were mostly directing that scene. And now for Will Smith. Yeah, Robin Williams is a lot better.
Yeah.
That said, he was probably the best thing about this version. I enjoyed it a lot more because he was in it. He brought some energy. Like, most of the actors I thought were kind of boring. I didn't think Aladdin was that interesting. Jasmine was, you know, not very good. Jafar was terrible. Really did not like Jafar. So Will Smith was actually carrying a lot of this movie, and that was good casting on Disney's part, but it was... My question is, now that because we just saw the Broadway version, why didn't they adapt the Broadway version? Because the Broadway version actually did add to the story, and it added logical stuff to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was different. You didn't have Abu in there, and you had his buddies growing up instead.
Yeah.
But how is it that the stage production, without the big budget Hollywood money, how was that? And it's getting dark here all of a sudden. Here, let's turn it this way. How is it there was more energy and fun in that show than there was in this movie? And the new songs in the Broadway show I thought were way better. Well, they only had one new song in this, and it was a good song. But like, there were a bunch of good songs there for the Broadway productions. Like, yeah, I'd like to see those in a movie. And the Broadway show was like maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes. You could have easily made that into this.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they did it that way.
Yeah.
So, and I also don't understand what they were. I mean, they kind of gave Iago a bigger part, and then he kind of didn't do much.
Yeah. I don't know.
So why'd you give it 3.5 stars?
I liked it. Because it was Aladdin.
That just because
Disney.
just because it's Aladdin, just because it's Disney.
Yeah.
Is that why you like Dumbo?
I love Dumbo.
Okay, but would you rather watch this Aladdin over? Like, are you ever gonna watch this one again?
Maybe once.
Okay. And how many times do you anticipate seeing? Like, would you see the Broadway production again?
Oh, yeah.
How many times? Like, let's say they were like $50 a ticket. How many more times in your lifetime would you be comfortable seeing the Broadway production?
A couple.
A couple. And how many times are you going to rewatch the animated movie?
Oh, a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, so really, now, how many stars do you give the Broadway show?
That was 5.
Okay, I'd give it 4 for the record. How many stars do you give the animated movie?
5.
Okay, I'd give that 4 too. And this is 3.5. So it's really not replacing anything. It's not adding a whole lot. Still gonna give it 3.5? Okay, well, I'm giving it 2, folks. I'm giving it 2. I am so much less interested in seeing The Lion King now than I already was.
I'm excited for
Well.
Lion King.
You're the reason I'm gonna see The Lion King, because I'm pretty much done with these live-action Disney movies. But what about all of you folks? Did you see Aladdin? What did you think? She gave 3.5. I give 2. There's our star grades right there. As for everything else, comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. Totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. As always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.